How's it going, guys? And welcome back to the Q&A. Today we're joined with Mods Ronan, Kieran,
hello,
Ash,
hello,
and myself, Mod Archie. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so apologies for my voice, but let's get into it. Happy asks, when will we see the new construction update that allows us to move rooms around in our house?
That one. Been looking forward to that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it into 2015. Sorry, got quite a lot of other stuff on.
People saying rip bull. Yes, Ronan did get a haircut.
I got a haircut ages ago.
Yeah, that's a while
Oh, it was
Yeah,
it? How long has it been since I've been on stream?
It was the Abyssal Sire BTS, where the bull was in fact there.
It was, yeah.
It was there, okay. So we've acknowledged that. Not Ross asks, I love the new player-owned house kit released with Halloween. Will we get to see more of these in the future?
The good news there is that there's room for one more wall kit to be added without us having to do any tricky programming at all. Tricky bit is that we'd need to get the graphics for it. With Halloween it was quite easy because Gareth could just adjust the mansion models very easily to make them a POH wall kit, which takes 10 different types of chapel wall, by the way. To do some of the other things that have been suggested, like a gingerbread house for Christmas, that would involve actual new modelling being done for all the things that it takes to make a wall kit. So, rather larger job. Can be done, but for Christmas we may not have the graphics budget for it.
Very big job for something cosmetic.
Yeah.
Unless you can eat the gingerbread house and heal.
And
Oh, that'd be cool.
but I'd like to see an animation of you trying to eat the wall of your house while you're standing in it or something.
Maybe instead of
best
just,
ideas.
you know how you remove something from a spot, you just like build a wall in place and then you just like gobble it down instead of destroying it. A new interesting way of training construction, eh?
That would be interesting.
I'd train it.
Chad likes my idea. So we pull it?
I do really like that house kit as well, though. It's
Yeah, it does look really nice.
It's
awesome.
And
looks
it's
awesome.
very
Yeah.
different from anything else we've got, I think, in either game.
Yeah.
All right. Many Cookies asks, have you considered making Deadman seasonal and having everyone reset after a few months?
We have considered it. I don't think we're opposed to the idea. Well, I don't think we're going to do it with this.
No, yeah,
Version
if
of
we
Deadman.
were to do it, it wouldn't be with this, this
Yeah.
current version, because that's not what you signed up for,
We've-
obviously.
We've had a bunch of ideas come through, sort of a battle royale thing as well.
Oh, that was
sort
my
of
next
in,
question.
in a similar, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a
that's it.
great idea last yesterday, you know.
Oh, I can't wait. If we go near that idea, I think it'll be great. But,
Should we tell them? See what they think?
well, it's come up on Reddit. So basically, the idea is if you've ever played a game like H1Z1, where the map gets smaller, you spawn in, you got to find equipment to survive, something like that. So everyone spawns into the map. They have to maybe skill, get their stuff, build up their gear, get their stats up. As the map progressively gets smaller and smaller and smaller, so all of the people that are in the game getting closer and closer together, they have to be able to compete with each other, and it's just a last man standing. You get one life. If you die, you're dead. That's it.
And it all ends up with the last bit in, like, what, Varrock Center?
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
And instead of, like, fog or gas or whatever, we could have, like, just the guards just start, like, hunting you down if you're not in a certain area.
I think Falador, because Falador's multi. That'd be a lot more interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Right, well,
Or darkness. We have darkness that you can't survive in. It's not as exciting as lots and lots of guards, necessarily.
And it's a matter of just making the map not load.
just the radio distance stops, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, we're
there's
looking at
there's
that.
a few really cool ideas that have kind of sprung off of Deadman mode. We're not saying no, we're not saying yes to any right now. Deadman mode's been out for less than a week.
It's not going to happen in the immediate future if it
Yeah,
does
no.
happen.
There's a lot of time to go yet to see how Deadman goes over the course of months, so...
Auto Massacre, that's true. All right. Tynan asks, if I'm skulled and attack another skulled player, does my skull reset?
No. It shouldn't do, at least. If you find it is, do submit it as a bug report, but it should not happen.
There you go. If I attack a player and he loses his skull, so you attack somebody who's already skulled, then his skull goes away, can you continue to attack him, and can you continue to attack him in a safe zone?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
I'm not sure when that changes.
I believe as long as you started attacking them when they had a skull, you would be fine.
Provided he doesn't log out and back in.
Probably.
probably. Who wants to test it?
It's a tough one. You'd be careful with that one. But yeah, I think I was watching Skill Specs' stream. He was attacking a guy who lost his skull, ran into the safe zone. And everyone was telling him, you can't still attack him, and he could. So just an example there for you, Jay. Next question. Why has my skull taken longer than 30 minutes to disappear?
If you are standing still, the skull timer will not decrease. You have to move it every now and then. That's probably the reason why.
How long that every now and then is, we're not going to tell you.
In case you're wondering why that rule's there, it's there's a lot of places in the game where you go stand there and there's only one tile you can stand on. No one can get next to you to attack you. Take, say, Arhine's crate in the quest involving Merlin's crystal. If you go and stand in that crate, no one can really attack you properly because, well, there's only one tile to stand on. So to catch all those kind of situations, we added a rule that skulls don't tick down if you don't move. Because if you can move back and forth a bit, then other people can presumably go and stand next to you and kill you. We've already changed, say, Captain Barnaby's ship in Ardoyne so that when you go down inside it, there isn't a single tile between the ladder and the mast where guards kept spawning on you and not be able to do anything about it. So that's what the rule's about.
Skulls also don't go down if you're like in a safe zone instances. So if you're in your POH, your skull will not be going down. If you're in the mage training arena now, your skull will not be going down. So a few places like that as well.
Also, it's a good point to know that you can fight back if you're skulled. You don't have to just run away and try to eat. You can fight back, but just make sure that it's retaliating against somebody who's already hit you and not somebody next to you. Because if you do accidentally attack somebody, your skull's just going to reset. So, it'd be a shame.
Talking of skulls, Dr. AdSense in the stream there is saying that we need a skull counter. And assuming that means a kind of countdown to when your skull will expire, that is indeed something we expect to do.
Okay.
Quite soon.
Hooray for Jay. What's this about transmogrifying into a chin chomper? Can you explain?
It's not transmogrifying into a chin chomper. It's using the transmogrify option on your baby chin chomper to change its appearance.
The option actually says metamorphosis rather than anything to do with transmogrifying.
I should probably reword that in the news post.
Well, I've had a few questions about it. But yeah, pets that have multiple forms, like the Zulrah pet, which comes in 3 colours, or the Calphite pet, which comes in walking and flying. Those pets tend to have a metamorphosis option that makes them switch between forms. And the Chin Chomper's got one as well. So by default, it might be the red Chin Chomper. You can click the option, turn it into a grey one, click the option, turn it into a black one, click the option, turn it back into a red one, and it goes around in a cycle. But there's a very small chance that it'll turn into a golden one. Because.
Right. Moving on.
Simple as that.
Benville asks, since the option to merge the max cape with the best in slots capes already passed, can you include the Artie cake? Artie cake? Artie cloak.
Are you, this sounds like a fantastic update. You can put a cape on your. You can put a cake on your cape. This is going to get difficult. I can tell already.
This is bad. We can't do puns without Matt. It's wrong. Right. The question. Did we all hear that?
Yes. Well, if we didn't include it in that poll, then we shouldn't just go and do it. But if we can make that stuff from the poll work at all, then we should be able to add more in future.
Scott Wilson asks, can you address suiciding in Deadman mode? Yeah, you want me to?
Yeah, you can. Go nuts.
All right, so we're looking at updating. If you saw John C's tweet earlier today, I want to say it was earlier today, after Ian asked you which ones you preferred on Twitter, skulls will be showing up next to the player's name when you right-click them. So
that's
right next
today,
to the...
so
is that going out today?
It
is already out.
Perfect.
Yep.
There you go. That will help you drastically if, say, you're in Varrock West Bank 345, you see a guy that's skulled, you don't know who it is in the pile, it will be the guy with the skull in his right click. Well,
you'll see a picture of it in the news post if you check the front of our website.
There you go.
And in addition to that as well, you've got much more powerful guards in now. You're going to get 3 hit by the guards, even if you're praying. So it's not going to be so easy to stand in a bank, protect melee, and just go nuts, killing people. People are going to die if they try and do that to people that they don't want to die to. So it's going to be less of a problem after today's update.
Ian's also planning on making some small changes to how keys work in those situations that hopefully will help as well.
Yeah. And to those that are saying like, yeah, it doesn't solve suiciding outside of a safe zone. Nope, it's hard to explain. Like
the thing is, we never intended for guarded zones to be safe. We always wanted people to feel at risk still in them. So
it could be the nomenclature we used was not ideal from that point of view.
yeah.
Basically, don't go AFK and get your combat stats up and your hit points, and you'll be fine. If you've just started and you're complaining about dying, you've just started. That's going to happen. It's Deadman mode. That's really all that can be said. Yeah, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a follow-up there, actually a suggestion, sorry, to help aid that, saying skilled people should not be able to deal damage in safe areas.
I think
Interesting.
at that point, you might as well just not allow combat in the safe zones. It seems a bit redundant.
Yeah, it just sounds overly safe. It is tragic seeing somebody misclick, but that is the game mode.
I think if you're hanging around the edge of a safe zone and you're not being cautious when doing so, someone's attacking you from outside as well. You got to just be more careful with that and pay attention and prepare for that kind of situation to arise.
I think we don't want to just sit and put safeguards on everything.
We could make it a non-combat zone, but that's really not what was being offered here. I think the tougher guards will help with a lot of the situations, but for things like the Rock Bank, where people stand outside the north end of it, I believe, and shoot in through the door, yeah, it's a guarded zone, but it's not a non-combat zone, so watch yourselves.
Okay. General asks, will there be another worldwide event like the Goblin Invasion 2 years ago?
People did enjoy the first one of those, and I think it got a lot of interest last year when we did it again. We've kind of had our plates full with quite a few other things just lately, so we've not been working on another Goblin event, but we should make the, I think it's a half wine available again, so we'll look at something. Might not be quite as elaborate as last year's, because there was rather a lot of dev time went into that for something that was temporary and, well, a little bit wacky, to be honest.
Was out of the ordinary. It was fun, though. RS Captiva asks, how are things looking for Zeah's first launch in January?
Well, if you want to see how it's looking, the artist will be streaming as soon as this one finishes from 6 o'clock onwards, and you can see exactly how it's looking.
That's right.
It's looking very good.
Yeah, don't go anywhere after the stream's over, guys. If you missed the last 2 weeks, we're going to be carrying over straight to Mod Alfred and Mod Ghost. He'll be doing some live modeling of some assets for Zeah. Happy Scaper asks, can the logout timer be moved in Deadman mode so we can see the chat box? I can think of one concern right off the bat here. If, for example, we moved the timer to the right over the logout button, and you could still use the chat box, you could still type and make it look like you're not going anywhere. You could say, like, I'm not going to log out as you're logging out.
I don't know if that's a problem.
I mean, I don't know. It just kind of shows, it's quite obvious when someone's going to log out if they're running away from you, if they're just stood still not saying anything. It would eliminate that. That's all. Aside from that, you could maybe say some stuff as you're logging out.
Yeah.
No other thoughts on that?
Well, it's not an entirely straightforward thing to do. I mean, I know how I'd go about doing it, but there's quite a lot of other things people would like to change about Deadman mode. I'm not sure I'd choose that one first.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not the top of the list.
Nah. Alright, Ku asks, will you be able to get the mining pet from Motherlode Mines? This was asked 100 times today.
More than 100 times.
Yeah, far more.
Well, that's because we actually opened up to the community to inquire whether we should or not, because a lot of people had written in saying that we shouldn't, and a lot of other people said we should. So I think John took it to the social media and the Reddit and found that, by and large, people felt we should, and we did. So you can get the rock golem in the Motherlode mine. The role takes place at the time when you're mining, so it's at the time when you get your pay dirt, not at the time when you search your sack and find the cleaned ore later.
Did see a picture, somebody actually already got one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've seen a heron, a beaver, and a rock golem so far.
No chinchombers?
I've not seen a chinchomper. I don't know if any of you guys have.
I haven't, no.
I haven't.
Should point out that the player that saw the rock golem didn't say golem pet. He said He said Pooh Man. I thought that was just hilarious. He said the little Pooh Man.
I would have called it if it was still
too
blue.
All right.
Good question.
Do you have any plans for blood coins in the future? So there's been a couple suggestions for this, right? I think Bodhi suggested being able to protect more skills than obviously your 2 combat, 3 skilling, at the price of, say, 500 blood coins or 1,000 for combat. That is an interesting idea. It takes a really long time to get that many and potentially farmable.
See, the thing is, they all sound like great ideas, and I'd love to do something more tangible with it. But the problem is you can farm it. You could have friends that will just let you kill them repeatedly. You could just make alts and do it. So we can't really get around that. So if there are given any more uses, it will probably be cosmetic things.
One other idea.
Unfortunately.
The ability to imbue items similar to what NMZ offered.
I can see the Slayer helm being imbued might go down well.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea.
Were we potentially going to make them tradable?
The coins.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Am I going crazy thinking I've seen something about
I
that?
think we
I'm
said
not
we
quite sure
weren't
where
going
we'd
to.
go with that.
Yeah,
though.
nor was
Even-
I.
yeah.
I don't know where that's come from, but it's in my mind.
Yeah. Well, again, the farming issue still happens there. Yeah, if you do have any other ideas, by all means, pitch them to us. I like the imbued option, personally. Boulder asks, could we have the ability to choose which song plays in our player-owned house?
Yes.
Okay. Ulkin asks, can we get Mod Ghost's hair in-game?
Well, that'd be a question for Mod Ghost himself, or indeed Mod Alfred, if he feels like trying to create a Mod Ghost.
Mod Ghost is nodding his head yes. He would love to.
I wonder if we can do the highlights.
He says he has the best hair, and everybody else should also have this hair.
We could do one for Alfie as well, which would just be a baseball cap.
Didn't we
Because
actually
he's never
model...
not got one on.
Be a bald man.
I seem to remember we actually modelled a bowl cut.
We did.
We
Is this
haven't
not
got-
in game?
No, we've put it out as a potential reward for if people gave enough to the Well of Goodwill, and they didn't. So we've still got it. They got the
It should come
kind
out at some
of
point.
Supreme Leader haircut from North Korea, but not the bowl.
Okay. We're going to get the first straw poll of the day in the chat.
Oh.
It's a joke. It's not actually going to happen. Likely. Can we get Mod Ghost's hair in-game? Let's get that straw poll in there. You guys can vote. Put facepalm. This is a great question.
I wonder how it would look on a female character.
Yeah, have to find out. Where are we here? Tockle asks, why doesn't the Mage Training Arena give experience anymore in Deadman mode?
The area was safe.
Yeah.
If you died inside the Mage Training Arena, you just appear outside with all your items and having lost nothing. And the amount of experience you could gain there was pretty crazy. While we were at it, fixing a bug with the skull, where if you died in there, I think you lost your skull.
Probably.
We
If you died there, I
decided.
think you kept your skull, but instead you spawned at the front of the entrance of the building.
Yeah.
That'll be
Full
after we
food, sorry,
fixed
full
it.
Oh, full health.
Yeah.
and
Because the initial
fire,
problem was that a safe death still clears your skull, so we made it so that in Deadman mode, a safe death will not clear your skull.
We have a request for Mod Ghost to come and sit in front of the camera for a minute so people can see what they're looking at. He has a hat on and is not able to show his hair at this time.
You will
Logistical
see-
issues.
If you really want to see, tune in to the Let's Design Zeah live stream immediately after this stream.
And then go back
So-
and make an informed decision when you're voting on
Yes.
the straw poll.
Save that straw poll open. All right, we'll give it a look. Okay. Next question. Austin asks, at the moment in Deadman mode, Mage is the most useful combat skill because of the freezes. Have you considered adding anything else like this for melee and range?
I think melee is really, really strong. Like, if you can combo it with something, it's difficult because if you train it up, then you're going to lose those stats if you die, or at least one of them, unless you want to lose HP.
DDS is so good right now.
Yeah, DDS is ridiculous, and ranged is definitely better than. Is it better than Mage for DPS? I
I'd
think
say
it is.
it's the easiest to get of the three,
Potentially.
with the bone bolts maybe.
It's slower to train, but
a full Black D'hide set is much cheaper than a full Mystic set.
there's advantages to all of them. I think at the minute it's not terribly unbalanced the way it is. You're seeing a lot more mages and rangers than you are melee people, but I think that's just because people are a bit scared to risk stats at this point. That'll probably change as we go on.
Yeah. But as far as offering freezes to melee and range, I don't think that has a chance.
Nah.
Unless we're going to talk about that range weapon, which I can't pronounce properly.
Bola.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like the best is
Bowl,
the best is always going to have be having a combination of all three styles, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to risk stats, and that's the thing.
You don't have to risk stats though. It's if you want to go with melee, you have to risk stats. You can lose your HP. Well, when we have the HP insurance in, which passed by 402 votes, it passed by 402 votes, which is crazy.
I saw people on Reddit questioning your arithmetic on that one.
Yeah, I know they were wrong.
I didn't check it out.
Yeah, I don't think that freezes for melee or range would go down well.
Not a chance.
No.
Okay. France asks, if a player does manage to kill a guard in Deadman mode, what do they get?
Bones. And nothing else.
Bones that give you 1,000,000 prayer XP.
No,
They'll give you 5. They'll give you 5 times the normal XP.
Sold.
Yep.
What?
Go kill a guard.
Okay.
Has anyone managed it?
Not that I've seen it.
I tried before it went live, and anytime I got close, it would just spawn a new one, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I did one in testing by setting my stats really high.
Naz has been extremely liberal with spawning those guards when she wants them.
I remember the first day in Lumbridge, there was a lot of white dots on the mirror map. There were far more yellow dots on the mini map. It's absolutely crazy.
There's a reason I decided not to let the Halloween death NPC spawn in Deadman worlds when someone died, because I thought it might just look really weird.
It's a wise idea.
All right. Next question is asking if the guards can be made more powerful. They were today. They can currently be tanked for a long time with protection prayers. That's also been fixed.
Yep. They hit through prayer now, and they will guarantee kill you in 3 hits.
And some of them can range, which I think they couldn't before.
Yep, some of them now range.
The ones with bows and arrows, effectively.
Unless they're throwing your swords.
Well, I think previously they did a sort of animation as if to use a bow and arrow, and no arrow came out, then you took melee damage.
Right.
Not quite
So
sure
ones
about that,
in
but
series.
they range now, the ones with bows and arrows. But they hit through prayer anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Moral of the story, don't fight a guard. All right. Carl asks, will anything be done in Deadman mode to prevent clans from owning the multi-areas?
No plans at the minute. I've not seen many clans, like really huge clans. I've seen a few small teams, but nothing too crazy. I mean, small teams are enough to take out pretty much any couple of people that are running about, but I mean, it's really, really difficult to do anything about big clans or anything like that without really changing combat as a whole, and that's not something that people are terribly keen on us doing. I'm not too keen on doing it either. Stay in single zones if you don't want to die to clans.
Yeah, I think the only perhaps viable option there would be to set a max cap of people that can attack somebody, so I can only be attacked by 3 people at a max at a time. I don't think that's the spirit of Old School, though. And people knew well before Deadman this was going to be the way. You got to avoid those multi-zones unless you're taking a risk.
It's a weird restriction because you're probably going to die to 3 people anyway. It's not as certain, but it's not going to be easy to tank that.
And all those people then skull, right? So
If you're in a team of 50, though, you're going to be all right.
unless a bigger team comes by. Okay, so the answer to that is just no. Zick asks, thoughts on adding the trading post to Deadman?
So, to make the trading post before, what we got was a GE server pointing at Old School, and we just didn't expose the trading aspects of it, but we did expose the ability to set up offers, and that's what the trading post was using. And of course, once we'd launched it, everyone said, no, we want a GE instead, so we gave you a GE instead. Which of course means that the Old School GE is now in use, and isn't available to start doing it again for Deadman mode. So yeah, we'd need to get another one. Not a straightforward job for the engine team necessarily, because of course Deadman worlds are not pointing at the GE. I expect it could be done. it's not going to be a quick matter of digging out the old code I wrote for the interfaces, which, by the way, ain't too hard. I can see that taking a couple of days, but that's not a problem at our end. I just don't like to promise what the other teams would have to do to make all the servers talk together behind the scenes. Also, the moment we gave you a trading post before, people said they didn't want it anymore and they just wanted a GE. So if we're going to have that amount of work and then find that people just want another GE again, may not be a very effective use of the dev time that could be used for more stuff.
I don't think it fits the game anyway, personally, for Deadman.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely a big chunk of people that are resource gatherers, and they make all of their money by going around collecting stuff and selling stuff and whatever. It pays to have a knowledge of the prices, and to have something that will just do that for you. Takes out a bit of the fun, I think.
I've been playing a ton of Deadman, and trading has not been as much of a pain as I had expected it to be. It's been really simple. People, well, they're RuneScape players. They know how to trade and barter and all of that, so it works fairly smoothly at the minute, I think. I
agree. Matt asks, thoughts on adding... Sorry, can we get the Corp transmogs with the Dark Core pet? I don't know why this has come up recently, but...
I think it'd be cool.
Yep. You mentioned it on a stream, didn't you?
I asked John the other day what he thought, and he said, yeah, we'd have to bot though, which is fair.
The current one that we can transmog into is huge.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's expecting that to become your pet that just follows you around.
Should we just give him a full-size corp?
No, I mean, the one that we can transmog into is like even a tenth the size of Corp, and it's still way too big.
You can trick people that are at Corp into thinking that Corp is spawned by turning into it, so it's pretty big.
That's one of the lowest moves you can pull.
Oh, no, because then
everyone clicks, walks under, Corp spawns, everyone gets stump damage.
I've never done that.
And they die.
You've done
you didn't
that a
actually
lot,
do
Chris.
that. Oh dear. Why did we give you this transmog option?
Right, back to the question. Can they change the Dark Core pet into a mini Corp?
I believe the artist looked at it and said that they'd have to edit the corp model to sort out the geometry, because if they just take the existing one and shrink it, it'll distort in some pretty weird ways or something. And Alfie's nodding at me, so I'm probably talking sense for a change. Anyway, so yeah, they just need to do that. They do have quite a few jobs, but that could be one of them if we don't mind postponing a few other things.
We've got an art stream right after this, so maybe if y'all ask them nicely, we'll postpone all of Zeah just for the Corp pet. 566 asks, can you please remove randoms from the wildy? It's super annoying when fighting clans.
Yes, we could.
I can't imagine any opposition to this.
It'd be fairly unproblematic, I think. I mean, most people just dismiss them anyway. So.
I didn't say y'all, I said you all. Just to clarify. Reese asks, how many skilling pets are currently in the game, and when will we get to know the drop rates?
Do we have any way of knowing how many are currently in the game?
I think Matt has a way of knowing how many are in the game.
Well, the thing is, the last stats he published, the last data he published, counted the number in people's inventories and banks, but it couldn't count the number that were following people at the time, and it couldn't count the number of menageries.
Right.
All held by Probiter in the Insurance Bureau. So it was a minimum number in the game, but we don't know how many the actual number was.
Yeah.
And also we don't know it for the skilling pets.
As for the drop rates, I believe Mod Johnsy doesn't want to reveal them until at least the turn of the year, so
wow,
a little while to wait on that one. But they are very rare.
Yeah, safe to say they're very rare. I'm gonna take that.
Also, they're different from every activity, and it also depends on your skill level yourself. So doing, say, chopping willow trees, lower chance per log than if you were chopping magic trees. And if your woodcutting level happens to be 99 as opposed to like 1, then your chance is even better.
Yeah.
So giving you a number wouldn't always be a very useful number.
But if you trade from 1 to 99, you would be very lucky to receive one by then.
Now we've got a question here from the chat about whether we have any ideas for a smithing skill pet. A little walking anvil.
I like the idea for construction of the chair from Drainer Manor that follows you around.
I do like that. It's great animation.
That's amazing.
It is, isn't it?
I only put that in as a joke, then the artist gave it a really good walk anim, so it's been remembered all these years.
I always mention these like small things, and then Ash is like, I only put that in as a joke. Every time in the most obscure things that I just noticed around game, it always comes down to Ash.
Yeah, it's well, how I used to entertain myself before I got to write so much content.
What could we do as a rune crafting pet?
One of the things in the abyss.
How about the essence rock itself that you mine in the essence mine? A small one of those.
It just
It
slides
just,
around.
it just like rolls behind you or something.
Well, it looks a bit like a kind of ice cream, one of the 99 flake things you get.
That's good, actually. I like that more. But the things in the abyss, though, they have those heads with spinning faces.
Oh, the full face.
The weird shapes on the
Yeah.
face, yeah.
I nicked their sound effects to put on the abyssal side.
Next question actually has an image. I'm going to try to get that up for you. Chief Iron asks, he has a suggestion, sorry. Slayer helmet and boss heads combined with 5,000 or 10,000 Slayer reward points to give different colored helmets.
Those are very nice helmets.
They are.
Oh, they are
Middle
cool.
one is pretty beast looking.
I love that middle one.
Yeah.
Oh, that is nice.
The red eyes.
I've seen a couple go up on
Those
Reddit
are-
that were just sort of your standard, I'm going to turn it blue, or I'm going to turn it red, but those look awesome.
Thoughts? If we were to pull this?
Well, you know, the usual thing about too many cosmetic overrides, but those are cool ones.
Yeah.
Those are cool ones.
When they're hard to obtain like that.
5,000 and 10,000 Slayer reward points is a lot.
Yeah, plus a
Cosmetic only poll.
cosmetic only poll suggests that. It could be done.
Yeah, worth straw polling that, just for the hell of a response from the chat, just to see what you guys think. So the heads that were just shown, the helmets that were just shown on the screen there, those are would be to be imbued with the boss heads that correspond, and 5,000 or 10,000 reward points.
They are cool.
Let's drop one in the chat for you guys shortly. Moving on to the next question that also has an image. Lollycon asks, can we have the ability to organize worlds like this? That timing.
Anything involving the login screen has to be done by the engine team. It's not adaptable to our end.
What we are going to do, though, is give the Deadman icons a different colour, like the PvP worlds have. So when you do go to that world list, you should be able to spot the Deadman worlds instantly, which should help things.
Is that going to be reflected on the world switcher in game as well, then, I imagine?
We can change their appearance. In fact, I'd rather like to give red text for the PvP worlds anyway. And the mouse over effect isn't currently working. So yeah, we could give them a different colour text, so we wouldn't be able to, you know, have different columns in different places because it's like yay big.
Yeah.
Not that anyone could see because our picture was yay big at that time.
Some people are saying we missed the straw poll results from the last one. That's true, because it was a bit of a joke. Would you like to see Mod Ghost's hair in game? Obviously, that passed like 90-something%. Whatever it was, really high. And then there's another one for Mod Ronan's hair in game that did really well as well. And then there was an option for no, which had like 1 vote.
4%.
It's probably Ronan. All right, so we're gonna get a straw poll in the chat right now for those Slayer helmets. As we move on to the next question.
Oh, they like it.
Never mind.
They like it a lot.
91% for a cosmetic. That's
91%
that's
for
pretty impressive.
cosmetics.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do anything, and they would cost you a lot of Slayer points. A lot.
Sounds like the cosmetics industry.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
You just hear Gareth in the
91%
background
on
chuckling.
that. That's really interesting. Okay. Usually you guys are really against cosmetics, but you seem to like these.
That's a cool suggestion.
Yeah.
And they did
Achievable
a,
without much graphics time.
Well, those ones
Sounds
didn't
the
look
archive.
that different in terms of shape.
Yeah,
It'd be easy to do.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Charlie asks about skull timers and Deadman. We've already said we're going to be implementing those, what, next week? Maybe?
to clarify skull timer, meaning
Timer telling you what your skull
displaying,
is.
yeah, how
Yeah.
long you've got left of your skull. Yeah, that will be happening. I'm not sure if it'll be.
I don't like to promise when my colleagues will have had a chance to finish it and get it through testing.
Yeah.
Soon, TM.
as soon as possible. I'd really like that one. But yeah, no promises.
Good. Rhodey asks, if I have 4... So he's got a scenario here. Pay attention. If I have 4 bank keys and I kill another guy with 4 bank keys, how does it decided which key I receive and what happens to the remainder of his keys?
Currently, you will receive one of the 4 keys that character was already carrying.
At random.
I believe it's the oldest one.
Okay.
I'm
And
not
the
100%
others-
sure on that one. But, so you don't get that person that you've killed's key. Now, what Ian's been working on the past couple of days is making it so that it will choose the most expensive key. So that's taken a lot of time. But this means if you're already carrying 4 keys and you kill someone who's carrying 5 keys, it will choose from those 5 keys and that person's key which one you will receive.
Yeah. So you'll automatically get the most expensive key,
Yeah.
no matter what, and the rest will be dropped and destroyed. You won't get to pick them up.
Yeah.
In addition to that, if you kill somebody, say he has 5 keys, you've got none, and you have no inventory spaces, Ian's also been working on something to have them drop on the ground, so you can then, say, drop sharks and pick them up.
Yeah.
They won't be gone. So, pretty cool updates there. All right. Next question. Chief Iron asks, when do we get to see the scale fishing added? And also, do you also receive a fish after removing the scales from them? And is this a new fish?
So, the law we've established in the Zulrah area is that the people there eat those eels, and they think, for whatever reason, that Zulrah is letting them have those eels so that they can live in his area and worship him, or her, or it. I'm not entirely sure with Zulrah. It's a giant snake, and I can't really tell.
Have you turned them upside down?
Yeah, there's actually no polygons there.
So anyone's guess.
Yeah, I think we've said different things in different announcements. Anyway,
I'm not
so
sure. How do you tell the sex of a snake?
that's a snake's problem. Anyway, so they eat those eels, and it has an effect on them. The other characters won't go anywhere near them, and they believe it marks them as one of the community. So there is no way you want to eat that stuff yourself, unless you want to be stuck in Zealandra for the rest of your RuneScape career, fishing and killing Zulrah.
Or Zulrah only mode? Zulrah only Iron Man?
Oh, good lord. So, no, we weren't planning on giving you the food from it. I think more likely you'll throw away the useless offcuts or the useless carcass of the eel when you've caught it.
Just dump it back in the river?
Well, it's a toxic swamp. What more is there to lose?
Maybe if you have a Zulrah pet, you can feed it to it.
Ooh, that seems appropriate.
Yeah, all right.
I've had in mind that what's going on there is that the eels are actually nibbling away at Zulrah under the water.
That's why there's no polygons.
Well, you reckon Zulrah's got nibbled off by eels? That would explain it. Anyway, they're nibbling away at Zulrah, and any scales it happens to shed that have fallen to the bottom of the river they might have eaten. When you catch them and eat them, the effect gets concentrated up the food chain. It's a bit like any toxins that are eaten in the grass. If they're eaten by a cow and then you eat the cow, you get a bigger dose yourself from all the cows you might eat that are just filtering it up to you, the way toxins work. So I think that's how I like to imagine the eels are working on this community here, which is probably why you shouldn't eat them. But also, it means that's where you get the scales from when you cut the eel open. On the other hand, someone else might implement it with completely different explanations for everything. I don't really know. Well, you asked me.
It's a bit anticlimactic, really,
I
isn't
think
it?
he's been satisfied with that answer. iDays asks, how can we see how many items are lost on death and how much they're worth in Deadman mode? He's asking, can we see? Can we see how much our items lost on death are worth? So when you click on the items protected button, can it give a wealth evaluator?
Not as easily as the other things that evaluate wealth, because most of those work on items that have been moved into a specific inventory, like the price checker or your dual stake. The items lost on death thing isn't moving the items anywhere, because they need to stay in your inventory or they stay equipped while you're looking at that screen. I imagine it can be done, but it's not going to be as easy as all the other things people have asked us to do, so it might have to wait a bit longer.
What we could do is tell you on death how much you've lost. Because that is known.
Yes, that is known.
So we could tell you at that point, maybe when it's too late.
Sounds nice.
But at least you would know.
In fact, we calculated it ourselves and output to our
Yeah,
logs
we
when
output it
someone-
on Twitter and stuff, so...
Yeah.
I've been loving seeing them go up. And so have the people following the Twitter. I think that when Boaty died with 10 mil, it got 300 retweets.
What's the Twitter handle that's pumping those out?
It's at Old School RS.
Oh, that
one's
one's
the
the
main
main
Just
one.
the
Yeah.
official one, yep.
Okay. Thought it might have had a separate one for
So we made the value really high, so it's only over 10 mil.
Oh.
Will get tweeted.
And if it becomes more frequent, we can always make it higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Why is the bank key loot evaluator so inaccurate?
The value it looks up is the G values, I believe, on
Yes.
the normal game. So while a runner on the normal game might be 10k, it might not be worth that in Deadman. But what it is good at is differentiating whether this item's worth more than that one. And while the numbers might not be accurate, it should be picking the correct items. It's just a rough guide, hopefully.
For what it's worth, if they don't like the prices that they're getting, then they probably aren't too fussed about the thing that tells you how much you're going to lose on death. Because it'll just be more of that.
And for what it's worth, as the economy stables out and things like Renars go from what 2k to 8k
Yeah.
or whatever, it will eventually become more accurate.
The thing is, without a GE in Old School, there's no way to know the actual prices of the items. So we either give you these ones that might be slightly inaccurate, or give you nothing. So
We
I
can
think
give
it's
you
the
the
best
outprice,
option.
but it wouldn't be very helpful to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Pooh asks, can skilled players always be on top of a stack of players?
I can see why he's asking that, but I believe now that we have the right click with the skull icons, hopefully the problem he was thinking of is solved.
Certainly better.
Okay.
It's not as good as being able to automatically left-click them.
Yeah.
But assume you've even got left-click enabled.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare. I'm too scared when I'm killing tortoises to change it.
That
just to
Barak
get
West
one
Bank,
first.
you can't click to walk anywhere if you have left click on.
Yeah.
Now Ronan knows.
Does he?
Back
That was
off,
all too
man.
well.
How much do you lose, Ronan?
I lost my first 250k like that.
Rip. All right. Jack asks, shuffle button for the music tab. This has definitely been asked a couple times now.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, we like the idea just fine, but things we can do to the music tab has never been very high up the priority list. I'd like to, though.
Requires engine changes as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's one thing I'd like the engine team to do before we try and launch it, which is to give us a more accurate way of knowing when a song's finished.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it tries to guess, and while the looping system is not great for that reason, it's not the end of the world if it restarts a bit early. Whereas for the shuffle feature, it's really going to suck if it's if it's starting the next track in the middle of the previous one. So I'd like to get that from the engine first, and then we can do the shuffle.
Hitting the heights of Moore's jaws and claws, and suddenly it changes.
All right.
Nice shout out for my track there, thank you.
Clear asks, when will we see the next batch of skilling pets?
Here's the thing. People talk about a prayer pet, like some kind of either floating bone pile or floating angel or whatever, or a smithing pet or a cooking pet. Goodness knows what that looks like. But the thing is, with all those skills, you can buy the resources in advance on the GE, buy a million of the darn things, and then just sit there grinding away until you get the pet fairly quickly, because you don't have to, do any trading to get the resources anymore. So we started, therefore, with all the ones where you do gain the resource by training, so that you can't just buy your way to a good chance of a pet. I've got no problem with doing the other ones as well, but it won't be quite the same.
Right.
Yeah, it's also unlikely we will sit in up a batch for a little while yet, given that graphics time is basically being all spent on Zeah right now.
All right. Next question. Funky asks, can you remove the 10-second logout timer / teleport timer in safe zones?
I can't think of any problems immediately with that.
I suppose if you're being attacked by a guard, you put the logout ain't going to save you.
Yeah.
We've removed teleblock from the guards,
Yeah.
so you
maybe
wouldn't be
it
able
could-
to escape.
What if you were unskulled only? It's quite complicated then.
I think most people in safe zones are going to be unskulled. Well, obviously, but I
You're
think it's
still
too
getting
complex.
attacked. You can still be attacked there currently.
Yeah.
So
What would it
I think-
make easier? It would make collecting resources like buying runes from the shops, hopping worlds quicker.
Yeah.
If that's in a safe zone, yeah.
If
Yeah,
it's
I don't
in
think
safe
we need to change it. I don't think there's a problem right now.
A lot of
I'm
no's
seeing
in
a
the
lot
chat
of
anyway,
no's.
so.
zone.
Ray asks, any updates on when we'll get a world map? And if so, can it include which areas are safe and dangerous in Deadman mode?
Rather annoyingly, at the moment, the tool we've got for rendering world maps has not been updated to suit recent changes to the map format, so we cannot render updated world maps very nicely at the moment. Any update we do to a world map would probably have to be just a manual MS Paint job, which we can do. But I look forward to Ian having a chance to get that thing working again, among other things.
Given there's a new landmass coming.
Well, yeah.
We might want that.
Also, we've done a few things, like new icons on the surface. Yeah. Would be nice to see them.
There was someone who is a hero, I think he posted it to Reddit, posted a multi-combat map to show you where the multi-combat areas were throughout the game, which is the most useful thing ever for Deadman mode. Just throwing it out there. It's a good idea.
All right. Bert asks, how does the old school Twitter know which accounts are dying with such high wealth?
It uses the wealth evaluator in game when they die, and if it's over a certain amount, it'll send out a tweet. I think if it's over 10 mil, it'll tweet.
And also, can it tweet who the PKer is?
That's a question for Ash or Matt.
I've not looked at the code that was put in there. I
imagine
it could be done as long as the PK is online at the time.
Well, I think we had we had a square in Prifddinas where you could teleport on a JMod and see who was being killed and who by. So
we should be able to do it.
Yeah, that's what we use Prifddinas for, by the way.
I would feel terrible for somebody who got a big PK, but then had a big bounty over his head, and everybody's hunting for him, and then he dies and loses it. That is Deadman mode.
I kind of like that.
I like to use Menifos as well as a place to
you like that
do
until
things
that's
on the
you.
JMod.
Yeah, that's a tough one. What is the rarest item in game at the moment?
Can't say for sure.
It's not that third age cape, is it?
No,
there's a third age cape?
No way somebody has it already in Deadman.
I know.
Not in sorry, is this question about Deadman?
Yes. Sorry. We've seen a couple
we do
rangers
have
now.
that data. I can't remember what it is.
For Deadman?
Oh, for Deadman. No, we don't have the data for Deadman.
Yeah.
We'll probably find it's one of those barbarian potions that nobody wants.
I know that in the main game, the rarest item was a 25% remaining Arim staff. Because who is going to get to that point with an Arim staff?
Yeah, I can see it being that kind of thing. Or some weird thing you can keep after a quest that you don't need to keep after the quest.
Yeah.
Okay. Noob asks, what's with all the system updates today, and why are they 30 minutes long?
So the first one was the week's update, because we update on Thursdays when we can. And there's a news post to say what was in it on the front of our website. The second one that came a bit later was to fix a bug with the first one, where some people couldn't log in after the first update. It was to do with the amount of data being transmitted to define your appearance. With those new skulls in the right-click menu, it was transmitting more information about your appearance to include the skulls, potentially. And that was hitting a critical limit, so people who'd got too much detail about their appearance, whatever that may mean, couldn't log in because it couldn't transmit their appearance correctly. So, Ian put together a fix for that one, and we launched it this afternoon. As for why they're 30 minutes, well, people do seem to find the extra warning quite useful. And in today's update, I had a go at rewriting the countdown timer so that it doesn't make your frame rate drop so badly when the countdown's in progress. Hopefully, it should be working for the broadcast messages we put out for all these streams as well. So, with any luck, those countdown timers can sit on the screen for longer, giving you plenty of warning so you can log out in a nice safe place before the reboot happens.
Should we do a straw poll?
Yeah, I'd like
If it were
that.
like 10 minutes or 30 minutes?
Sounds
I
good
like
to
30
me.
minutes personally. I mean, you can find yourself deep somewhere in the wilderness, maybe.
We might have stuff on the ground that you want to get back to because a reboot will
Yes.
wipe it.
I think 30 minutes is appropriate.
Anytime we're away from a Thursday slot, like if we're doing a bug fix reboot on a Friday or something, I would like it to always be 30 minutes just because people aren't expecting it and they might be in the middle of a raid. Obviously 30 minutes ain't enough to finish a raid, but it's better than 10.
I guarantee you'll still. In fact, I think when we did a 30-minute timer recently, people still complained that they died because they got disconnected by the system update.
If you want it to be 1 minute, type 1.
Follow up to that. If a player attacks somebody just before the system update, do they die, or are they both kicked out?
I accept they're both kicked out. I mean, if they happen to be dead at the time, then that's tough luck, but it will kick them out mid-combat as the server shuts down.
I tried that out earlier. It definitely kicks you out.
For what it's worth, if the server fails to kick you out, this happened before, not on purpose either, but the server failed to kick people out when it was shutting down for a reboot, and it failed to shut down and lost a whole lot of data. So we jolly well know when that happens. The launch day of Tears of Guthix brings to mind. People were stuck in the cave and couldn't get to the exit, and were never going to get to the exit. And the server couldn't shut down because it was trying to wait for them to get to the exit, but they weren't ever going to get there. So in the end, it just had to be, the process had to be terminated, and we lost quite a lot of data from their activity.
Okay, we got the results back from that straw poll. Seems players do, in fact, prefer the 30-minute option.
Well, I'm glad they do, because we keep doing it. And 20 minutes is also reasonably popular.
What?
I don't know.
Somebody probably said that. Right.
Okay then.
Moving on to questions in the chat, as we've run out of questions on the paper. So, how will hit points insurance work in Deadman mode? The poll's quite clear.
Yeah, so once you reach a level, once you reach 25, 50 or 75 hit points, you'll then be able to spend, I think, what did we settle on? Was it 25k?
2,500 in a mil.
2,500 in a mil.
I think, yeah.
You'll be able to protect that, so you'll never drop below that. You'll still lose experience to that level. So if you are 45 hit points, you can still drop back down to 25 if that's where you've insured it. Same for 50 and 75.
Is it per death?
It is not per death. It is permanent, one-time payment for each set of insurance.
Okay. Next question. World map, we've already asked that. Any plans on fixing skilled players splashing and boxing their timers down?
For what it's worth, if you're not moving around, your skull timer is not decreasing, even if you are in combat. So that helps a certain amount. At least people can't go AFK like that. We may be able to make some other changes if anyone's got anything particular in mind.
We discussed this a little bit. There's a couple of ways around it.
We talked at one point about whether people who've done like 50 zero hits in a row could be deemed to be blinking useless and available for attacking, even though it's a single way area. Because, you know, if you hit 50 zeros in a row, then you either suck or you're not trying.
Right. And the name of the game is Deadman. I mean, it's a survival game. You're going to do whatever you can to survive. So some players are probably opposed to that, but definitely something we'll look into. Next question then, what's the Christmas event this year?
We haven't written it yet, but I think it's time to follow up on the story from Halloween. For those who've been following the holiday events, we've had Anti-Santa turn up last Christmas and at Easter and at Halloween, doing various things, whether intentionally or not, to try and ruin the holiday. And perhaps some kind of showdown is due.
Sounds good. Here's an interesting one from the chat. What is the chance of Guthins healing you when you hit?
1 in 4, isn't it?
I thought it was 1 in 4, but I'm not sure.
I thought it was 1 in 4 too. Definitely.
We don't memorise the code very much, but a lot of Barrow stuff is 1 in 4.
Sounds about right as well.
Can you please make pets able to carry items like some...
Really?
Alfie, did you ask that?
I didn't ask that.
No, I've seen it come up in the actual chat.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a huge game changer. I don't think
That's
it's
basically,
what
can we have summoning?
Yeah.
Except as a rare drop from bosses. Interesting.
Or Gertrude's cat.
Or Gertrude's cat, yes. Yes, after you've fed all those sharks to your kitten, maybe it can carry them for you and give them back on demand. Ew.
Yeah. The only way I could see that being even remotely possible is if it was relevant to the pet. So, what the fishing pet could hold fish for you. But still, that's just no. So, next question. Can we have a way of holding more than 5 keys at a time?
That would require your save game to be increased in size with more inventories to hold those items. So while it is possible, there's a reason we limited it to 5 because it can't be unlimited. Also, we don't want to encourage people to just stay out killing people forever.
Yeah.
We do want them to try and lose their skull and go back to a safe zone and loot their keys.
Definitely. It would only be helpful to those really high-level OP players that just dominate right now, and they're already good enough. Next question. When can we get the mod Ash emote? You already can?
Yeah, do the Halloween event. It's at the bottom of the emotes menu. It's got an icon looks a bit like this mug. There's a reason.
Do we know how many times it's been played?
It was 280,000 when I looked this morning.
Nice.
That's 280,000 times that button's been clicked since we launched the Halloween event last week.
Some guy's just sitting there clicking it all day.
If you've
It's not
unlocked
me.
it, if you've unlocked it in game, spam click it as much as you can now.
Yep.
By the time we check tomorrow, hopefully it'll go up a nice chunk.
I want to say hit a mill.
I want to know whether you can get it to the 2 billion cap and make it overflow. And I want to know what happens when you do. If it crashes all the worlds, then sorry.
There's a long way to go.
Can you get a Chinchompa pet in the private hunter area with the diaries?
Yes, there's no distinction as to where the pet box trap is when it's rolling for that.
Okay. Deadman Bounty Hunter Store. Pay with blood money instead. That's an interesting idea.
I think it comes
Some
back down
really
to the
good stuff
fact
in
that
there,
it's
actually.
farmable. I think you'd
Yeah.
have to find some way of making that not the case, and that's going to be difficult to do.
I know they wanted the rune pouch in particular.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
How do I get a golden Chinchompa?
Having got a Chinchompa pet from being very, very lucky while hunting Chinchompas, keep clicking the metamorphosis option. It'll change colour every time, and there's a small chance of it changing to be golden.
You see, it was originally intended to be completely secret, and no one
Yes.
would know.
And
But
there's
Ronan wasn't aware of this,
Yeah, no one filled me in. They just
Oh.
sent me the
Aw.
pictures.
so everyone knew about the gold thing then.
All right, we've got
Oh,
time for
well,
a few more
it's still cool.
questions. What happens if you eat a diseased cow in port?
That place.
Mm.
The
Phasmatis.
ghost place. Yeah.
Phasmatis?
Phasmatis is how I'd say it.
What's that? What's that Smurf for?
Phasmatize.
What happens if you eat a diseased cow? What was the question? Any idea? I haven't done that.
I don't recall, but it's probably not all that interesting.
Okay. You can find out, actually, and tell us. Possibility of bringing back BAR?
Anyone?
What is BAR?
Getting your account back by paying. Like that.
Oh, getting your account back by paying if you get banned.
Can't remember. Somebody said it in the chat.
Not chances.
I'm not keen. I'm not keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Mon Mac K question, but
And he's answered it in the past, and the answer is no.
yeah. All right. Can you make some of the Can you make some of the guild's higher skill requirements because of the 5k XP makes them better for safe spots?
Interesting idea.
It's tough to read. I think they're quite viable escape, and if you want to chase people in there, just
I think a
get
lot of
5k
them are pretty
XP.
good already. Like the crafting guild, you need your brown apron, and the cooking guild, you need your chef's hat.
I think those escapes are the best in game,
Yeah.
and definitely should not be nerfed.
I think there's
It
a
wouldn't
lot.
be nerfed. But
I do love
Make
those
it more
escapes that
difficult to get.
have cropped up. Like Boaty's been using talismans to go into the runecrafting altars and all sorts of those little niche things that you need an item for. You wouldn't think to go to. I think that's what has made Deadman mode so fun for PKs at least so far.
I was using the lit candle strategy south of Sears, and then I made a video about it, and now everybody does it, and I'm like,
Yep.
oh, well, there goes that hiding spot.
You got me killed. Thank you.
Yeah. Jagex Clan Cup.
You're going to see more information about the Clan Cup within the next week. Keep an eye out for that.
Okay. I think we'll try for one last question here. Can you please move the Geomancy spell in the Lunar Spellbook its proper level appropriate spot rather than at the bottom of the book?
Yeah, we put it at the bottom of the interface because people didn't want us to move the other spells like Vengeance, which they kind of rely on it being in a useful place. So, yep, we could have done very easily. It's a matter of just dragging things around a screen, to be honest. But we knew that if we did, there'd be a lot of complaints from other players.
I mean, we don't like it being at the bottom, but it's just a temporary measure, hopefully, until we're in a position where we can offer the ability to
Change the...
sort your spellbook as well.
People get really upset when it comes to moving spells around, as we've learned. So
People have learned in
avoid those-
PvP, they're hitting the F keys and clicking Vengeance, which is like on top of the spec bar, and
Yeah,
so
the way that it would have rearranged it would have put like where Vengeance is placed in the spell book, right in between two inventory slots, so it wouldn't have been as useful.
was that meant to be a Geordie accent? Do your best Geordie accent.
Have
Runner.
you been talking to each other too long?
All right.
Book
Abyssal Sire drop rates, not today.
next week?
When
Next
you've done
week.
that 1K kills stream,
Yeah, which I'm hoping to do next week.
Okay.
cool. Plug for a stream for next week.
So don't go anywhere. The stream's not actually ending. We're going to head straight over to Mod Ghost and Mod Alfred doing a Let's Design Zeah live stream. It's really entertaining. You can watch them model these soon-to-come assets coming in January. I think, yep. So that being said, yep, don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.